Welcome to I'm From the Internet, a podcast about the internet, its users, and their consequences. I am deceased comedian Winslow Dumaine, sitting here with internet historian Jay Brandstetter. Jay, how have you been, man?
Oh, it's been a pretty uneventful week. I'm glad people liked the Moonbase Alpha one. That's the first time we've done like silly scripted stuff like that. I'm glad it played so well.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that episode because it's there's so many things that are just plugged into my brain forever that it's hard to explain to somebody. Like, you have to understand, it was so funny that we were saying John Madden over and over again. But then they see the video and they're like, okay, I get it. You know, I get why this is so fun. Yeah, no, that's been good. And I've seen some good stuff about the solo episode that you did. And I've run into a bunch of fans of the show in real life at the last few shows that I've done. And so that's been nice and encouraging. And I appreciate everybody who's commented and reviewed and all that stuff. Boy, it's been a fucking nightmare over here, to a degree that I can't really talk about it with any kind of detail. But yeah, life's been very, very bad. So imagine like a knife in my back that won't stop twisting. So that's been, I can't really go into too much detail, but shit sucks and I'm trying to get through it. But what are you going to do? A lot of big life changes going on over here and everything's really scary. But I did, if you're a follower, you might have seen, I did finally announce my next game on everything. I announced it everywhere. And if you don't already know, it's going to be called the United States Department of Gang Stalking. And that's it's a competitive game for 2 to 4 players set during the worst possible dystopia. Basically, the department causes kind of like a psychic Chernobyl that turns the entire world, or at least all of the United States, into a never-ending mass shooting, and you play as the people that caused it, trying to survive. It's like, and it's the release for it has been not release, but the announcement has gotten huge traction, and so many new faces in the Discord, and we've been playtesting a lot, and it's just been going really well. So that's kind of my silver lining here, is that did a lot of work with that. And if anybody wants to play or wants to learn more, just check out my socials. I'm on Instagram at calculations, and you can find my socials, link in the bio kind of thing. But, doing things. But yeah, I understand that you have some sort of meat-themed podcast for me today.
Yeah, speaking of twisting knives, we're going to be talking about some chopped and sliced meat, processed meat product today, because we're talking about Steak-Umms, or more specifically, we're talking about Nathan Allebach, the man behind the Steak-Umms Twitter account. And also, this is going to be sort of a little overview on brand Twitter as a phenomenon in general. So we're digging in a very, very insufferable era of Twitter's history.
Are Steak-Umms dog treats?
They're human food. We're going to talk a little bit about their history, but for non-Americans or people who haven't had them, they're little frozen meat slices that you can fry up and use to make Philly cheesesteaks or sandwiches.
Huh. I thought they were dog treats this whole time. Because I know there's the Beastie Boys line where he's like, I'll serve you on the platter like Steak-Umms. But I never knew it. I just always thought it was some other sort of animal-themed food. I guess meat is animal themed. You know what I don't like? I don't like when I'm at the store and I see a pasta sauce that's labeled flavored with meat. I don't like how vague that is. I don't like that could be technically anything. Because, it's legal to serve, squirrel, right? I don't know. That one always rubbed me the wrong way. Horse is illegal in the United States, right? We're not allowed to eat horse, right?
I assume so. I can't imagine there was much of a push to legalize it, and we have such a legacy of it being a culturally taboo. I can't imagine.
Yeah. They served horse in Ukraine. I didn't try it, but they did definitely serve it. It's just a fucking animal. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to eat a chimp or nothing, but horse, fuck them. They're mean. They'll bite you.
They're dumber than cows. Yeah, cows are very affectionate and sweet animals, or can be at least.
This is a cow pod for sure. Oh yeah, I guess the other thing that we could announce here is that we finally have our first piece of I'm From the Internet merch, and it is just I made a bumper sticker that is like really JPEG compressed, and it just says enemy of the pod. And yeah, and you can get that on winslowdomain.com, and all that money is going to be split among us so that everybody gets a little slice of the action there. And yeah, check it out. It's looks like it came from something awful but worse. So that's our first little piece of merch. I got some other stuff going on, but I've been talking about myself for too long. So yeah, how do we get into brand Twitter here? Take me through this.
Well, my sort of opening image I have here was a screenshot that I think is pretty relevant. It's the writer Brandy Jensen in 2018. She writes, 2017, sassy brands who dunk on people. 2018, the brands are anxious and depressed now. 2019, brands start asking for feet pics, to which the account for Dude Wipes responds, you should see the pics we get sent. Which I think is like a perfect example. Even when you complain about these people, they use it as an opportunity to promote themselves.
Yeah. And like, it's a complicated thing because absolutely, I think, we'll probably post about it or talk about it here. The response image of the deep sea crab with laser eyes that just says silence brand, which I can respect that. But at the end of the day, it's like, I have to maintain that sentiment, and also in the same heart that beats in this, the same broken, stupid heart that's in my chest right now, I need to also have an openness and appreciation for the fact that Hamburger Helper made a pretty good rap album. And it's a hard thing to balance because, yes, for sure, Dude Wipes is almost certainly owned by a fascist and they're bad for the environment and all the other bad things. And like, whether or not I laugh at their post isn't going to harm their brand or whatever. And so it's like, it's one of those things that is like, it does suck, but it sucks so little that you have to take it on a whole and talk about capitalism rather than, oh, are you really mad about Dude Wipes being on Twitter? You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah. It's one of those things. It's almost like a gradient because, yeah, there are people who genuinely are able to make cool and creative things under the guise of being a brand, but also a lot of times it's like, yeah, it's like these advertisers intruding on like you and your friends talking about stuff. Like nobody ever likes it when you're talking about a thing and like an account dedicated to that thing shows up in your mentions and is like awesome, especially like even when it's not being paid for it. Like once I was talking about the Xbox game Breakdown and someone who ran a fan account for Breakdown was like, yeah, Breakdown fucking rules. And the guy replied was like, why are you doing this? Nobody likes when you do this. And yeah, it's like, thanks Breakdown. I appreciate that you like that. I like your game. Yeah,
that's fascinating. Cause I don't know. I see a lot of that where it is just like dedicated to this one thing. And then you scroll through the page and it's, I don't know, like there's one that's just called Male Central. And I've noticed them resharing pictures of like handsome actors posing with their wives, but they just crop out the wives. And people will be like, why did you crop out the wife? And they're like, this is Male Central. I don't know. I think that's kind of funny. I think that's fine. It's
you can use it as a format. Yeah, and also that's another reason why I like Nathan, because like there are some genuinely funny and creative people who work at brand stuff, and Nathan is, I think to me, he kind of represents like kind of one of the worst ones, because he's one of those people who tries to be respectable with it. He first entered my my radar in 2019 when he wrote this article, Brand Twitter Grows Up, How Corporate Social Media Mostly Moved Past Its Awkward Phase and Connect with Audiences. And him portraying this illustration of it where it's portraying the brands as like these poor beleaguered stand-up comedians being heckled by an army of Twitter users. I was like, that is so not what the power balance is here. The fact that you're presenting it like it is really an insight into your worldview here.
And yeah, because it's an illustration of like a humanoid stack of pancakes on a stage and like rotten fruits and vegetables are being thrown at him. And then there's Sunny D and Wendy's and Netflix kind of looking on in horror as all of these angry, mean birds are throwing fruit at him. And yeah, man, it's because you're uninvited. You're not a stand-up comedian. Stand-up comedy is a format for that. You sell pancakes. Tell me about the pancakes. Don't tell me about like what good pussy sounds like. That's not the place for it. You fucking bozo, you know?
Yeah, I'm getting flashbacks to last year when I told you guys about like that energy scammer where he's like, you're harassed, stop harassing me. I'm like, you came to our house. You're the one harassing us. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah.
Like it's very much that.
buddy, I have, in the past few weeks, I've got stories of that exact thing. I'm just like, I blocked you! What are you talking about? Like, I'm not harassing you. I'm not responding to you. Yeah. It's very frustrating because, like, sometimes they are genuinely funny because you look past it and you have to think that there's just some kid at the wheel, and, like, that's fine, right? But it is still just Denny's. It's like one of those companies that's owned by, like, the 6 ultra conglomerates that run the entire world. But, like, if it were, I don't know, Gripfast responding to things like, responding to, like, an OnlyFans girl, be like, I got something that grips even better, and it's Gripfast. It's like, okay, fine. Like, the more niche the brand, the more I'm able to tolerate it. Netflix, fuck you.
Yeah, I think that's why people were so into that tape as a meme a couple years ago. I can't remember what it was called, but, like, everyone was putting that, like, tape on stuff as a meme because, like, yeah, it was the fact that a fucking, like, a seen on TV tape brand was trying to, like, market itself. Flex Seal, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if it was like the smallest possible thing, I would think that that's fun. I think, like, I don't know, if like an off-brand, like, really shitty, like, Sure Fine breakfast cereals or whatever, if they were to come to Twitter and just start, like, hard posting really aggressively, I'd be like, you know what? Fine. That's fine. You know?
Yeah. Like the only brand I would ever advertise for is if I was approached by, like, those budget saver ice pops, but only the ones that are just the banana flavor. That's the only one. I won't do the mixed flavor. It has to be the bananas.
Yeah. I only want to advertise for banana runts. Yeah. Yeah, because my buddy Tom Takar was banned from Twitter because he was impersonating Jackson Galaxy from that, like, cat review show. Yeah. And what he did was he just, like, started posting as Jackson Galaxy and, like, posting, like, show dates for when the show would air and, like, talking about the most recent episode and, like, all very much in characters, like, catch me on TV over here, and you can watch this over there. For whatever, like, the Cat Whisperer show was, I can't remember. And then he did, like, cat reviews, but he slowly got more and more, like, negative with his reviews. Because, like, everybody, like, there's those channels that are like, we do dog reviews, and every dog is an 11 out of 10. Great doggo. But then he would be like, I don't know, this is a 6 out of 10. Your cat's kind of a buttertail. You know, like,
looks really mean.
Yeah, it looks really mean. Bad cat. No stars. So, yeah, I can get behind that.
That's really good, yeah. And also Nathan himself, like, he's also somebody who's kind of mask off. Like, some people are kind of ashamed of the work that they do on brand stuff and try. He's, like, front and center. Like, no, he's almost like the face of brand Twitter as a respectable institution. Like, I felt like PR Week Global listed him as, like, one of the 50 biggest marketers at the time or whatever when this was happening. Yeah, Nathan Allebach is the inspiration behind Steak-Umms' Twitter page, which went viral with a coronavirus misinformation rant in April. So that's kind of giving you a hint of where this is going to be going.
Okay, dear listener, you're not witnessing what I'm witnessing. But okay, how do I even start with this image? Because it's the, you know, he's the 50th most influential person or whatever. And so what it is it's Nathan Allebach, who's like a 30-something whatever, white guy with big glasses. He's just kind of like the hipster nerd type. He's wearing a big floral print shirt, really exaggerated bisexual lighting that not only because his pupils are so dark, it gives him this very much like fish-eyed, like kind of like a lazy eye look, and kind of this blank expression, his mouth hanging open, his hands are folded in prayer, and he has a beard that has not been grown on men since we were using, like, bear oil in our pharmacies. Like, yeah.
I've never seen, like, a real beard that looks so much like a fake beard before this one.
Yeah, it looks very much like it's got like the wave that, like, old, like, 1800s beards used to have, and it's not, like, bushy out, but it kind of splays outward towards the the tail end of it. And he's got like a wave in his hair, so he very much looks like a young man version of a guy that died in 1850. So fascinating looking individual. I don't want to hang out with him at all.
Yeah, like if you ever see one of those photoshops, it's like, this is what George Washington would look like if he was a modern politician. It's like, this is if we took a Canadian fur trapper and made him into a modern Baltimore resident, you know?
Yeah, what if a Canadian fur trapper was like bisexual and I don't know, like a bisexual swinger with that shirt? That's what I'll say. Canadian fur trapper, bisexual swinger. You have to say that, and that'll unlock my Bitcoin wallet. That's my passcode. Yeah.
Here's just some of I'm sampling of his modern output, like his current, also the way that his look changes like every other year. Like you have one of him with like a man bun, it looks like at one point. Now he has like the Flanders mustache. Yeah.
Man bun, scruffy beard, big, thick push broom mustache with like a swoopy Conan O'Brien tidal wave of hair on top of his head. And then like kind of a exaggerated kind of gay guy, long mustache with the shorter hair. And he's got a big old frown on his face. And oh god, dude. All right, yeah, all of this sucks so much. And also I'm looking at Jesus Christ, the New York Post article. I mean, New York Post can burn in hell, but the headline for him is his big frowning face with his like kind of Beatty looking mustache. And it just says, man catalogs hundreds of memes in case Elon Musk pulls plug on Twitter. Hundreds of memes. What does that mean?
Everyone, I've made a Google document. Alert the press.
Oh my god! Like every single person who has a smartphone has at least 10,000 pictures on it. Like hundreds of. It's like, who fucking cares? If Elon Musk pulls the plug on Twitter, why would that ever happen? He spent $44 billion on it. It's so stupid. And also, I should note, I am crushing this guy in followers. I have 4 times the followers that this guy has.
Yeah, that is interesting to think about too, because like the Steak-Umms was like one of the biggest brand Twitters at the time, and like I think it's relatively well known by this. But like in the current day, like his most independent success is like he has 57,500 followers on Twitter, which is nice following. But like in terms of actual original content, he has TikTok account. He's like a walkable cities guy now, which is basically a template you can do. So I'm not surprised that that's like his newest thing. But yeah, he's like on TikTok, he has like 33,500 followers, just talking about the very standard like walkable cities talking points. Like if you've ever watched a video by Not Just Bikes or something, you've already heard everything he has to say.
Man, I got like 40 different unpleasant, problematic things I want to say about this dipshit, but we haven't gotten into it yet. I have issues with it, but we don't need to get into it.
We got the rest of the show to get into that.
We got a lot. It's just like if you took away his phone, he would just disintegrate. You know,
he would just spawn out of someone else's phone.
Yeah, I would. He's like Agent Smith. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I would, if I took away my phone, I would either thrive or immediately kill myself. But like, this guy would just fade into the ether, you know, like a distant cadence, you know.
Yes, yeah, and I guess like especially with what we do now, I find him pretty fascinating because he's kind of like the soulless backrooms homunculus version of what we do on this show, where he presents himself as an expert of online history, and he writes a lot of articles about the history and texture of brand Twitter. Like he did do a good job sort of doing timelines and stuff about the 2010s brand Twitter, but he does it from the perspective of selling himself to brands and marketing companies rather than critiquing them like we do. Like he does like glossaries about terms for other marketers on his account, like this one here, the extremely online glossary of terms, acronyms, rules, and laws from 2019. So we'll get a look at sort of his sort of style here.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just another fucking meme talking about milkshake duck, which is, again, that is what we do here. We do talk about online things. We don't do it for fucking Steak-Umms. You know what I mean? It's like, we're not saying that the pursuit of talking about the internet is bad. I'm saying that, like, if I saw a death metal band and all of their music was about, I don't know, Lysol, I'd be like, this sucks. Why are you doing this? Why are you talking about cleaning your mirror? You know? It's not fucking fun.
God, yeah, and just like a sampler of how kind of bland he is, like from this 2019 explainer. Would you like to alternate on definitions here?
Not really, but okay. Bae. Okay. Bae, a pet name for someone's significant other or crush, often used in a loose general sense. Example, these veggie chips are bae.
Bruh, a way of saying bro, but also a description. Example, this is a bruh moment.
But that's
Yeah, it's a
not...
description of what? These are bad definitions, too.
It's such a bad definition because bro is like, yeah, he's my bro. I wouldn't say he's my bruh. Bruh is like a way of saying, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, bruh is in like, I can't believe that this thing happened. Like, that's not what that word means. Even like in this context, like, it's frustrating. Okay. Emoticons, or emojis, a symbol of a facial expression formed by the keyboard characters used in electronic communications. Duh.
Yeah, and that's another one he got wrong, because emoticons and emojis are two different things. An emoticon is made of symbols, and emoji is a symbol. So like colon dash close parentheses is an emoticon. The smiling emoji is an emoji. Like, I know it's a nitpick, but as we'll see, he's getting paid a decent amount to do this. So it's like, he could at least do it right.
Yeah, again, this is one of those things where like, I remember reading some article that like mentioned when I was a kid, like I remember reading about, I don't know, Crash Bandicoot was in the news for some reason. I remember it was an article about like the money of Sony's PlayStation product. And I remember reading they had a thing about Crash Bandicoot, and they just got so many details wrong that it kind of pulled the wool back, and whatever. It pulled the wool away from my eyes, or into my eyes, or however that phrase works. And I was like, oh, man, you guys don't know this. How many other things do you just not know? You know? Anyways.
Freebooting, posting other people's original content online for personal gain without permission of the content creator.
I wonder if that will come up again in the future. Lit, a term used to describe being drunk, high, or just calling something cool. Okay, fine.
A sock puppet, and separate online identity that someone uses to deceive or manipulate people. Example, Dilbert creator Scott Adams was caught using sock puppet accounts to defend himself.
Yep. Thirst trap, a sexy photo or account of photos that's posted for attention. I don't think that it could be an account for photos, but whatever. I don't want to get into that right now.
Yeah. So that's sort of like his grasp on the internet. And his most well-known brand work was with the frozen meat sheep product Steak-Umms. I dug up like one of the original 60s, because this was like a 1960s processed food, one of the early ones when we were first kind of doing this.
I'm going to be real, dog. This looks like I'm looking at this waiting to see the joke. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I'm waiting because it looks like an insane thing I would see on Photoshop Friday. Because what it is it's like a scan of the 1960s version of the Steak-Umms box that shows the Steak-Umms product. It's like in a sandwich, and next to it there's some little gherkins and some cherry tomatoes for some reason. Flaked, chopped, formed, thinly sliced. 5 all-beef sandwich steaks. I guess it's just really that, like, Steak-Umm is a bizarre name for a product. I don't know. There's a lot to take in here, and I don't like any of it.
Yeah, especially when it's a processed food like this. Whenever they have a funny spelling like that, it always makes you suspicious. It's like how Fruit Loops is F-R-O-O-T because there's no fruit in it, so they can't legally call it Fruit Loops. Like, as we'll see, it is 100% beef, but maybe not the best types of beef. But anyways,
yeah, it's definitely flavored with meat. Yeah.
I love how unflattering the demo recipes are. It's like, just plop a slice of meat on your plate next to your eggs. Just put it on top of your pasta. This is food photography has made leaps and bounds since the 60s.
One thing I know more than anything is that Americans need help eating more meat. They need guidance because we really don't know how to eat meat. And so we need someone to be like, yeah, you can just... Dude, one of these recipes is Steak-Umms and vegetables. And it's just like, well, you make some vegetables and then you just put some steak on top. All right. Yeah. Seasoned to taste is another one of those things. It's like saying cook until done is very...
Yeah, make jokes until funny. Like, no, that's what I'm coming to you for. Come on.
Jesus Christ.
Oh God, yeah, and just to show, like, even years later, this is remembered as a uniquely annoying brand Twitter. Like when I was looking up stuff about this a year ago on Reddit, I found people talking about how annoying it was. One of the quotes is, "The most obnoxious, try-hard piece of shit relatable brand Twitter is them." Which someone replied, "Steak-Umms bless," which we will learn the meaning of later.
It's been annoying for a while, and like, look, there's something to be said about just like gritting your teeth and getting through it. The world's not going to like everything that you do unless you're Dolly Parton. And so sometimes you just have to be like, yeah, people hate me, and then I got to move on. And eventually you'll find the right people. That's the story of the first 15 years of my artistic career. People made fun of me and hated it, and now, it's going okay. But when it's Steak-Umms, the ceiling for your success, he can't really get better than this. Like Steak-Umms, he is the Steak-Umms guy. We're doing a podcast about a frozen meat sandwich thing. You won. This is the very best that it can be, and now you're just the Steak-Umms guy. So it's like my advice on art is not going to really apply to this, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, exactly. A part of how he handles this is part makes it unique too. Because like if people are just purely mercenary about it, and like, yeah, I'm mortgaging off my respectability and by doing this marketing, that's the exchange. I'd be like, okay, I might not agree with that, but I can respect that. As opposed to, as we'll see, he very much wants to have both sides of it.
Yeah, he wants to be a creative genius, but also is like shackled to the like frozen meat conglomerate. It does make me think about, there was one of those like clip farm dog shit talk shows where some asshole was talking to some porn stars, and the guy was like, I just don't get how you can just sell your body. Like, it's so disgusting. And she's like, well, yeah, but what about the guys in the military selling their body for like military service? They're hired in because they have physical strength and the capacity to serve in the military, and the risk is physically to their body. And then that clip ends, and it just cuts to a Marine in full kit in his Humvee, and he's just like kind of looking at his phone, and then like looking up and looking outside going, damn, like, she kind of right. I am just selling my body. I don't know. It's like selling off your respectability is like, dog, that's just not something that comes back,
Exactly. Like we're really into the era of getting that bag. But yeah, it's like when you get that bag, that is what you are exchanging for the bag.
And for increasingly small bags, like you'll find out that you can sell your respectability to anyone. You can sell your respectability to Cutco, to Herbalife, to LuLaRoe, but you can't, like, it's not going to actually pay your mortgage. You're just going to be annoying and then end up with a whole bunch of moldy leggings. It doesn't work out for you. They're not actually going to help you.
Horrible fiber content in those things.
Yeah, that's true.
I did want to talk a little bit about Steak-Umms themselves, just because like there is some fun history behind them, and also like I think it kind of helps, like having a good idea of what this product really is, kind of helps cement the absurdity of making it like a personality. So I have my little notes here. Yeah, just the Steak-Umms, the product, it was invented in 1968 by food scientist Eugene Gagliardi, and this is back when food were small enough. You can actually see Gagliardi Brothers Incorporated on the original packaging from Westchester, Pennsylvania.
Not a good sign that your last name starts with Gag.
Yeah. His named it Yummy-Ardy.
Your first name is Eugene Gagliardi. It's got, if you were to abbreviate that down, your name would be Gag. Hi, I'm Yuck Grostrovich. Yeah. Yuckman Grostrovich is that's my Christian name.
Yeah. Hi, I'm E. coli. This is my
exactly that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's a food scientist of some renown. He's also the guy who claims to be the inventor of popcorn chicken, because KFC hired him in 1990 to do that. But it's disputed because there was an Asian street food in the 70s that was very similar. So, but still, he claims it, so I thought I'd include it in there. And it's similar to that. The official company line with Steak-Umms is that they were actually like a very humanitarian. They were invented as a way of making Philly cheesesteak sandwiches safer, because normally they're a choking hazard to old people and children. But by taking these rough cuts of meat and breaking them up into these little slices, now you can easily cut them and there's not a choking hazard anymore. So that is sort of like the fluffy corporate history that they give behind the creation of Steak-Umms.
Dude, we all remember the tens of thousands of deaths the mass graves that were filled in the 1950s with thousands of dead grandparents who choked to death, blue in the face because they ate a rough Philly cheesesteak. And then Gagliardi came in and was like, something must be done. And used like grade F prison meat to create Steak-Umms. To make a safer sandwich is really funny to me.
It's so good. Yeah, like once you know that companies do that, there are so many companies that are complete bullshit. Like eBay is another one. Like they're sort of mythological inventions. Like, oh, we did it to collect Pez dispensers. When the reality is that they were doing it to create a perfect market economy, but that wasn't really selling with Gen Pops. They invented the Pez dispenser collector story. Like companies do this all the time.
I just imagine Gagliardi is just like walking around on like the mean streets of New York City, and someone's about to bite into a Philly cheesesteak, but he can see that they're 61 years old, and he puts his hand on their chest and goes, not so fast. That's a dangerous sandwich. Someone should do something about this. Someone like me. And then just a montage of him just like digging through the trash and processing raccoon meat and like shoe leather until he can create the Gagliardi invented processed meat sandwich.
That makes
Jesus
you picture
Christ.
like the movie version of this. He's like walking through the streets of Philadelphia and you see someone choking and he gives him the Heimlich maneuver and they spit out a thing of chewed up meat and then a car runs it over and flattens it. He's like, say.
I just like that he pushes down on the guy's chest and then like a full foot long like Subway style sandwich and like it just comes out like it just an extruder, you know, like he just stomped on a Go-Gurt and it just comes out. Sir, you need to chew your food more. Jesus Christ.
God, yeah. The actual reason why Steak-Umms were is because it's an early mechanically separated meat product. You know, you take the bits of meat that are stuck on the bones after you cut off all the good cuts, you put them through a machine that pulverizes it, and then you reconstitute. If you've ever seen a picture of pig slime, that's basically a more modern version of that. We've gotten better tech at processing it. Like Spam, like in 1937, was one of the. It's an industrialized version of traditional processes like scrapple or gefilte fish, where you take these things that would get thrown away and you find a way to recycle them into something edible.
Yeah, all my favorite meats have been reconstituted. You know, I think I've mentioned this on the pod that there's a lot of death metal songs about decapitation and disembowelment, but not enough songs about getting squished. You know, which I think is way scarier. And also, recapitation sounds way more upsetting to watch. You see somebody lose their head, that's one thing, but then you see somebody painstakingly stitching a head back on. Oof, that's not good either. You know? I don't know. I'll be in touch with my local metal bands to start working on some recapitatory songs.
Yeah. And I have a quote here if you'd like to read it about what Steak-Umms are made out of.
In a 2012 lawsuit, Judge Lawrence Stengel described the product as chopped and formed meat product that is comprised of beef trimmings left over after an animal is slaughtered, and all the primary cuts, such as tenderloin, fillet, and ribeye, are removed. The chopped and formed meat is pressed into a loaf and then sliced, frozen, and packaged. So I worked for Omaha Steaks, and they are, if you're into steaks, apparently they're pretty good steaks. I don't really like steak. But one of their selling points is that their burgers, which are pretty goddamn good burgers, are made from the trimmings of their filet mignon, which really means nothing. Because it's like making a burger out of Kobe beef. It has like it defies the point entirely. Because like a Kobe steak is good because of its marbling, and 100% of that is lost when you turn it into ground meat. So it doesn't really matter. Again, it doesn't really matter if it's filet mignon or if it's tenderloin or whatever. It's going through the grinder. It's turned into ground beef. It doesn't matter, but it just sounds better to say, like, these are our filet mignon burgers made from our filet mignon. And it just doesn't really fucking matter.
Very much, yeah. It makes me think of how, like, at Wendy's, the meat in their chili is like leftover hamburger patties.
Yeah. A lot of this stuff is just like looking around and seeing what slop we have left over and how can we rearrange it with like a little expenditure. I mean, that's why Taco Bell stuff is famously like it's the same stuff rearranged, you know?
Very much, yeah. And so, you know, like every community on the internet, as soon as Twitter rolled around and got big enough, then the brands started showing up to market themselves. And 2009 is when you can first kind of find them showing up en masse. I've got a couple examples here, like Kentucky Fried Chicken in 2009, February. They go, gonna watch a little college basketball. I'm told I'm kind of an expert on buckets. That level of joke, yeah.
Pizza Hut, devouring a supreme personal pan as motivation for my first tweet. Congrats.
One from Sega, it says, at Hot Pikachu Sex, what I wouldn't give to have not read your username. And Hot Pikachu Sex is actually Justin Wang's old username, so that was kind of a fun bit of serendipity there.
Oh, hey, Justin, he follows me.
Nice.
Hey, he's cool. I liked his circumcision stuff. Yeah, Google it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, we're such like a culturally Mormon country. Like, we're so prudish in so many ways that the idea of like Sega commenting like even obliquely about the word sex is like, oh guys, get in here. 5,000 retweets and 5,000 likes and 94 comments because Sega mentioned somebody whose name has the sex word in it, and it's like, shut up, man. Like, it's just frustrating because I genuinely like boundary pushing, weird, extreme art that makes you feel bad things and feel weird thoughts and things like that. And then I see a lot of people who like have created, it's like I like real cold pressed juice, apple juice made from apples that are pressed and you drink the apples, right? And then I see a lot of people with like apple themed fruit products. And it's like, that's not the real thing. It scratches 1% of the itch that you wanted to drink something that has an apple theme to it. But I'm here drinking actual apple juice, right? And I see the same thing whenever it's just like a slightly outre thing said from a personal brand, right? Like was it Resident Evil's official Twitter on April 20th? All they did was just post the green herb screenshot from Resident Evil, which is like a health item used in the game. And it's on 420, and they posted the green herb, and that's so fucking cool. 50,000 likes on that. And then you think, what's it like to have marijuana in Japan, where those games were made? What's it like there? You know what I mean? It's just dumb.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of Japanese guys in prison doing the pointing Leo thing at that. Like, oh yeah, that's what put me in here.
Yep. Jesus Christ.
Oh, God, yeah. And I think that is kind of like, as someone who has worked as a representative before, like that's one of the things that's kind of unique and unsettling about brand Twitter is that when you are interacting with the brand itself in abstract rather than a person representing them. Like when I worked at a call center, I wasn't greeting people as, hi, I'm insurance company name. It was, hi, I'm Jay with insurance company. Mm-hmm. That's how it usually does it, is you still have your individuality and your personhood, but this is, you are representing them in abstract. Like this was kind of a new concept. In 2012, Community did an entire episode lambasting it and like how uncanny that was, where they basically applied it in real life, where there was a student at the community college who I have a quote here, I've contractually waived my birth identity. I'm now a man and student named Subway. And it's a pretty funny episode because the premise is one of the students falls in love with him, and part of his contract is he's not allowed to have sexual relationships because it like betrays the brand's values. And so he gets fired and replaced with a completely different guy who's like, oh, hi, Britta, it's me, Subway. And it's almost like an Invasion of the Body Snatchers thing. It's a good episode.
Well, it's what's his face from
Dan Harmon, yeah.
No, it's the guy who said, "Can you hear me now?" Was that T-Mobile?
Oh,
or was
yeah.
that Verizon?
Yeah, I know what you mean, that guy, yeah.
Yeah, it goes to show you how good your branding was. We can't even remember what phone company you're with. But that guy was gay, and he's been gay his whole life, and he was the face of whatever, T-Mobile, and like was in so many ads, but contractually could not come out of the closet because they didn't want the controversy of having a gay spokesperson. And so he had this whole life where like people would like be shocked to find out that he's gay. And it's just like, it's just so weird and vile. It's like Jake from State Farm. It's like, that's his whole thing. He's going to like Knicks games and just being like in the State Farm jersey or in the State Farm little vest or whatever. And it's like that's your whole thing, you know?
You know, I mean, Subway is no stranger to that. I mean, they're the Jared Fogle company.
Yeah. I mean, like, for one, I think like I like the idea of a guy who is like disgusted by Jared Fogle, and the more you talk to him, you're like, wait a minute, you're disgusted with him because he was fat once. Wait, we're talking about the allegations. We're talking about the criminal stuff that he did.
Doesn't matter how much weight they lose, they're always like that on the inside. This just proves it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the guy who's just like really canceled Jared Fogle and then finds out about the pedophilia, and he's like, oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, and you know, it shows up in the late 2000s, and over the years, much like Twitter itself, it evolves and becomes more aggressive and playful. Like, this is kind of when the "How do you do, fellow kids" meme is codified, because this is when brands are very aggressively trying to look young and hip. As a headline I found says it quite well: Twitter accounts to overly thirsty brands, stop saying the word "bae." And I dug up, there was an entire account called Brand Saying Bay at the time. And I dug up just this awful little collage, like Arby's, Bay, Taco Bell, you are Bay, Ryan. Jamba Juice, you're on a lunch date with us, we'll be your Bay. IHOP, thanks, bruh. Like, all these different brands talking like,
And it's just like not, a lot of these are like not how you use that word at all. But it is like so, I don't know. It is like, I can't say it any more succinctly than "how do you do, fellow kids." Like, it is, they're so off the mark, and it's just whatever the most recent thing is. Like, fucking, Pizza Hut UK's official account is posting about how, like, the new God of War has a female in it. That's not my Kratos. Imagine making a God of War without Kratos in it. And it's just like, you are a fucking pizza restaurant in a small, shitty island. Why do I have to know your opinion about God of War? Log off.
Brands courting the chud audience is very funny. When you have like Steak and Shake, be like, we made a new Bitcoin flavored milkshake. It's just our old orange cream milkshake with a different name because we know you assholes will buy it. You know?
Yep. And it's just like, piggies led to this fucking trough and they lap it up. They love it so much. You know, because I drive all over the country and I see the billboards that are just like, real beef tallow, not for pussies. And it's just like, who fucking cares? Like, I don't care. Like, if it's fries, it's fries. Like, the quality of the fries, I eat fries and my body turns them into feces. I don't care. Like I was just on Marcos's show talking about, like, kind of the secret superpower of being a pleasureless fuck, and like the power of generally anhedonia. And I just like, I'm not beholden to the experiences that all of these other losers are chasing after, where like they're really, really concerned over how the fast food burger restaurant makes their fries. Let go. Log off. You'll be dead very soon. In a geologically insignificant amount of time, you will be dust. Make your fries with peanut oil. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's such an old conservative grievance, too. Like, I remember my dad complaining about them doing it because of vegetarians when I was a kid. Like, he was like, oh, it used to taste different, but then the vegetarians made them change. Like, I'm like, we eat at McDonald's like twice a year. Why is this something that you talk about this much?
Yeah, make your own. Like... I don't know, dude. I like, as someone who has many times complained about the Taco Bell value menu going away, I also like, if the Taco Bell value menu was back, it's not like I would eat there. I'm 35. Like, I make my own food. Like, I don't do that. And also anorexic, but that's a separate point. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, just the meme where it's like, poor, anorexic, not eating fast food ever.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
Very much, yeah, and we're not going to dig too much into this as a whole because it's probably going to show up in some future episodes. Dude. But yeah, just some of these examples of companies really fucking up. Like this is one that like made headlines when "Why I Stayed" was a hashtag that was trending because it was women talking about being in abusive relationships. It's sort of like, I couldn't face the fact that I was a textbook statistic. If stepdaddy hurts you, so will hubby. Why I stayed. Or so many courageous people sharing their stories. Why I stayed and why I left. Domestic violence is often a hidden issue. Bring it to light. To which, Winslow, if you want to take up the third one here.
DiGiorno Pizza just said, hashtag why I stayed. You had pizza. So I let you punch me. Jesus Christ, DiGiorno, read the room.
Yeah, when you understand the meme. And then or some other examples from this time, like what I remember getting actual circulation was Arby's hired a papercraft artist and they would make video game and anime themed papercraft out of the Arby's containers.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so like they did like a Simon's Quest box art, except it says Simon Lunch, and there's Simon Belmont on top of a Arby's sandwich. Like very like the way that these different that was the way they would do it was just let's find an artist that makes a thing that's kind of viral already and have them do it for us. Like I'm sure video game papercraft was already trending before that, and that they sort of saw that.
Right. Yeah.
And also, like in terms of like established brands sort of adopting this sense of humor, I found we just had a Nintendo Direct, so I thought this was kind of fitting. There's one from Nintendo of America in 2013 where it says, "My official stance on hashtag twerking. Click here to see me hashtag twerk." When you click it, it's a picture of Wario with the impact font saying, "You expected to see Reggie twerking? Fooled you." So like Nintendo using the word twerk that many times.
If I say anything, I think that this episode would be taken down because of me using exterminationist rhetoric, but I don't know, man. I'm against it. Why does it feel to me that this is disrespectful to Wario? Like, that's what I'm most mad about, because I like Wario as a character, and it's just like
he's an independent small business owner. He makes video games. He doesn't need to stoop to this level.
He cares about the three things that I care about: money, 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 power, 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 women, women, women. Those are my three food groups. Me and Wario would get along, right? He probably eats more than I do, but like, I don't know. He's also an elf, so that's a different kind of metabolism. He's living in a human world. I don't know. He's not living in a human world. He's living in the Mushroom King. Well, where does Wario live?
He lives in Diamond City. He has his own separate like mythology and characters, like thanks to WarioWare. It's the Wario cosmology is very, very separate.
Say that one more time, Jay. Wario cosmology. The
Wario
separate.
Cosmology. It's very separate from the rest of the Nintendo universe.
Oh, dude, we'll have to dig into it at some point in time.
Yeah, the Dante's Inferno of the WarioWare universe.
The layers going down. Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah, and one that I actually was like bore witness to as it happened was Totino's realized you can find relatively like up and coming creators and give them a modest amount of money and they will promote you. So like back when the McElroy brothers weren't like as well known as they are now, they did the McElroy Family Fun Hour brought to you by Totino's, where they did entire episodes of their show based on just talking about Totino's pizza rolls. So this was like a thing that just, if you were a creator at the time, it's like, yeah, we'll give you a couple $1,000 if you do an episode of your show about Totino's. And that was a lot of money at the time.
I'm not going to say that we will never do that, but I don't want to do that. Like, I don't have any interest in doing anything remotely like that. Especially not for fucking Totino's. Jesus Christ.
God, yeah. And also, it's very funny seeing a very butch Travis McElroy from a decade ago, like before he got like they're such different people now. All those, I used to listen to everything they did.
I don't know the first thing about him, so that's a different part of the world for me, but.
Yeah, but also, weirdly enough, to sort of tie this into our original focus, the Something Awful forums are part of why Steak-Umms as a brand like this maybe exists, because before Nathan showed up, they were an early casualty of the pushback against online brands. Nathan himself actually wrote about it in 2019. As he describes it, he says, Something Awful in particular hosted some of the most notorious forums for internet culture in the early 2000s. For some reason or another, some of the most estranged, creative, edgelord lunatics all came together for this site. As we see today, anonymity brings out the best and worst of people. And to sort of show why he has this feeling about Something Awful, in 2014, John Hendren wrote a front page article called A Review of Steak-Umms Social Web / Community Guidelines. So this is John Hendren, at Fart from Twitter, a noted internet funny man. We'll probably do episodes about him in the future. I had an article that he did here, and I have some of the text here. Would you like to read it?
Look at practically any internet-related blog. Actually, don't do this. And you'll see where time and time again, corporate social media gurus intend to be one of the gang. and fit in with whatever conversations are even tangentially occurring around their product. Mention that you're headed to @Taco Bell because you're hungover, and some intern will say, "Know that feel, bro." Say that you've got the runs from Pizza Hut, and Pizza Hut Cares will deliver one of 10,000 responses offering a fake apology and a link to complain. It's dumb, but it's how things go, and we're all pretty used to it at this point. So where the hell does Steak-Umms, the fake steak made out of unwanted beef parts, get off being such a hard ass?
And he posts several people complaining about Steak-Umms blocking them on social media here. And then he continues.
Folks are getting blocked left and right by the frozen meat company. Seriously? No gentle ribbing? You only have like 700 followers and your product is minced up animal bits squirted out into flat sheets and frozen. Even DiGiorno pizza, classically the frozen pizza that doesn't even attempt to taste like anything but flour and paper, plays along online. But it also took a turn for the dark this week. Steak-Umms Corporation went so far as to tweet an Ayn Rand quote within the last day or so. A creative man is motivated by the desire to achieve, not by the desire to beat others. I suppose it was intended to be inspirational, and sure, you could probably find Stalin quotes that sound inspirational when they're taken out of context, but there's something about the thought of eating ground-up meat squirts from a cutthroat libertarian idolizing company that didn't quite sit well with the large number of Twitter users, so they deleted it for some reason. It was around this time on Monday afternoon that Steak-Umms took upon itself to publish its very own Steak-Umms social media web/community guidelines. These are rules you are expected to follow if you interact with, mention, or otherwise invoke the spirit of Steak-Umms social media frozen meat squirts company website social media online.
John Hendren rules. I'm so glad we got to read someone funny in this. Yeah, and two notable highlights from that big, from their big rules is it's the lists of don'ts. It says, don't do anything illegal or send us content that encourages illegal activities. Don't be a jerk or worse. No obscene, harassing, or abusive communications. Think about what your grandma might say. Don't be a fake. If you're not really Elvis, we don't want to hear from you. Don't spam or send us unwanted posts. Which, like, that's why everyone's mad at you in the first place. How dare you?
Don't hack us or send us viruses. No murder, please. XO, like, no, circle/murder. You don't get to do that. It's against our rules. Don't spread lies and rumors about Steak-Umms or our competitors. Because we play fair.
The rules. You're not allowed to make fun of us. You have to say we're cool.
Be nice to us. And then, show up at our party and bring a present.
And then at the end of it, they have this section here where they say Steak-Umms Meats, registered trademark, may disclose information about your communication activities with Steak-Umms Meats and or in relation to any social media site in response to lawful requests by government authorities or for the protection of Steak-Umms Meats rights or the rights of third parties as Steak-Umms Meats may deem appropriate in its reasonable discretion. All one sentence. So yeah, basically they've got from how do you do fellow kids to I'm calling the police. Just like, like we're allowed to call the cops on you if you make us feel bad. Like, so you can see why everyone's making fun of them for being this tone deaf.
There's that fucking loser who posted the thing about like I downvoted you and like here's why. You did a racism, you did a transphobia, you did a like misogyny and like you know, the downvote is the bullet in the gun of justice. Pow. And it's like this unbelievably cringe thing. And I found the original guy who posted it, and he has like, I don't know, some small number of followers. And his thing is like, yeah, I'm the guy that originally posted that. And you look through his account and it's just like, it's not even shit posts. It's just like other mildly cringe things that aren't taking off because it turns out you can't make a whole brand out of being an embarrassing loser. People don't actually want to be associated with that. I mean,
I'm doing pretty good with that.
But you're not an embarrassing. I'm talking about like, like if Chris Chan was like a psyop and it was a whole thing where that was like manufactured from the inside, like it wouldn't fucking work. Like, I will say that the only exception to this rule is that like half of the reason why you have to have like a pill in the sugar, so to speak. Because like I genuinely think that Ben Shapiro knows that he's an annoying twerp who says things that just doesn't make sense, right? And I think that like he went out of his way to read the lyrics to Wet Ass Pussy because he knows that he's a twerp, and he knows that that's going to get clicks because people are going to be making fun of him. And so like that will get a lot of traction, and you know, out of the 99 people that call him just a weird dork, one will be like, actually, he's got good thoughts on the nation of Israel, and they'll follow, right? But outside of that, you're just like being a fucking loser online. All of that to say, the rules of engagement with Steak-Umms social media are, why would you post that? Why would you post? You don't like. You don't get to put up a sign that says, don't be rude to me. Do not. It's like, welcome to social interaction, man. You don't get to decide that. Other people are going to do that to you. You can't just say no murder. It's not going to stop somebody who's going to murder you from murdering you, because breaking the rule that says don't be rude to you is rude. And if you're going to be rude, you're going to break the rule. So you can't, it doesn't mean anything.
Exactly. You have no authority over me. You can't enforce this.
It's a waste of good pixels.
Yeah, and we have one last concluding bit from Hendren, if you'd like to read that.
Is this the turning point? Is this Web 5.0 or whatever we're on now? Brands just don't give a shit anymore and start blocking anyone who dares look at their frozen meat product in anything less than an incredibly serious light? You guys are scary, Steak-Umms. Good job.
I mean, yeah, it does read like managerial meddling run well out of control. You know, it does kind of read like you've got your intern doing the social media, but then you have the manager of the intern who's like, hey, make this go viral. We want Steak-Umms to be the next Harlem Shake. And when you ask, what does that mean? They say, make it go viral. Like, it's impossible. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, gosh. And also, especially for the time, you know, this is when weird Twitter was huge, but they still hadn't all left the forums yet. So when people on the forums are making fun of this, it's also a big deal on Twitter because some of the biggest Twitter names are feuding with Steak-Umms as well. And this was a huge PR disaster for them. And so what they did was they hired a new marketing company the following year in 2015, and that company eventually put Nathan Allebach on the account. So Something Awful is arguably responsible for the creation of this monster, which I thought was pretty funny, the knock-on effect of like you make fun of an awkward social media account, and then they wind up hiring this guy that makes them really popular in a way that is incredibly annoying.
Yeah, they make them even more aggro.
Yeah, and also an interesting thing about research is that the reason why they brought Nathan on to this account is because the studio that did this is called Allebach Communications, and it's run by his parents, Jamie and Tammy Allebach. So keep in mind going forward when we read all of his stuff about like millennial angst and economic inequality and stuff that like he is a massive nepo baby. Yeah, that is why he has this account.
Never met a good Tammy, you know? Well, no, I had a good, I think it was my third grade teacher was Tammy. She was good. But outside of that, I've never met another one. Tammy is a name that I've only ever heard from Florida. I've never seen a Tammy that wasn't like a little bit sunburnt, I would say.
Oh yeah, that's a very Florida name.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, as somebody who has spilled a lot of ink writing about how to be successful in online brand marketing, he's never mentioned have parents that are already successful marketers as a tip, because I've listened to a lot of his stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and also, per a 2022 interview on an e-commerce site, he was probably making over six figures a year working for Steak-Umms. He never listed his own salary, but when talking about the industry as a whole, he says the lowest agency rate is around $115 an hour. The average could be $130 to $140, maybe $150 on the high end. Agencies could bundle differently for retainers versus project-based work, so you're looking at a minimum of $4,000 to $6,000 monthly to have an excellent social strategy for maintenance and growth, and upwards of $10,000 plus a month for aggressive increases. So if you assume that Steak-Umms counts as an aggressive increase and they were paying on that, he's probably making six figures annually writing for them. So just keep that in mind going forward when we read his hashtag relatable stuff about how hard it is to be a millennial.
Yeah, I don't know how to make I'm going to trust that all of that is true. It's hard to navigate because if you saw my rates for the consulting work that I've done, you'd be like, Jesus Christ, Winslow is loaded. But It's like being a tattoo artist where you're like, yeah, I make $400 an hour. And you're like, that's insane. It's like, well, yeah, I get $400 an hour to tattoo the work that I spent the last 5 days drawing by hand. You know what I mean? Like it's a totally different thing when it's all of the preparatory work going into it and all that. So, yeah, I don't know. Rates are weird, but yeah.
Just that's a good reinforcement. Yeah, he's a marketing guy. Everything about how he presents himself is cynically constructed and fundamentally dishonest towards promoting himself. So yeah,
what a good thesis statement, man.
Yeah,
it's just perfect. Everything he presents is cynically constructed and fundamentally dishonest. All right, put that on his fucking tombstone.
Very much. And a very interesting detail about this, he wasn't just randomly assigned to the account. He actively sought it out when his parents' company was hired by them because per an interview in Jamie Loftus' 16th Minute podcast, which did an entire episode about him, I listened to it after I researched it to get his interview information. He wanted the account because he liked weird Twitter and he thought that this would be an in with them. If he was like, ooh, if they feuded with Steak-Umms, so if I make Steak-Umms cool, they'll like me. Like that's kind of his thought process for wanting to do that.
Buddy, the hubris of being like, if I get the frozen meat squirt account, Drill will finally like me. That'll be the day that I finally get a like back from Wint. What a stupid pursuit, you know? Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like just register an account with the forums and get banned for posting in FIAD once, like everyone else who wants to be friends with them. That's how it works.
Exactly. Jesus Christ.
Oh gosh, yeah, and also like if you've ever read Drill's comment section, you know that being a fan of good comedy doesn't necessarily mean you're great at it yourself.
God, no.
So him liking these guys, wanting to be friends with them, doesn't mean it's good. So we're at 2017 when Nathan took over the Steak-Umms account. We've been running for over an hour. What do you say we break here, and then for the second half, we could sort of look at how him handling this company went and sort of the aftermath of him running it.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll have. Do you have Rex for this episode?
I guess for this one, since I mentioned it, Jamie Loftus did do an episode of 16th Minute about this. If you want more Nathan info while you're waiting for our second part, you can listen to that one. I did. And also, it's interesting just to see like our content, like stuff that we talk about being covered in a different format. She does like the solitary podcast host, but with like interviews and voice actors and stuff. So, you know, it was a little shakeup. It was cool to see other people do this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my recommendation is be nice to me. Not you, Jay, specifically, but everyone. My God. That's my recommendation. Fuck. But Jesus Christ, it's been the worst 2 weeks of the worst month of the worst year of a pretty bad life is what I would say. But yeah, that's us. Thank you all for listening. This is part one of what will be a 2-part series, and we'll be back next week with even more. But before we go, please know that we do have a Patreon. $1 a month goes to the Patreon. It goes to Jay and Steve. You get tons of extra bonus episodes and things like that. We try to update as often as we can. You can find us at IFTIPod on Twitter, IFTIPod@gmail.com if you have any suggestions. And you can find me at winslowdomain.com. Winslow Domain on Twitter and Calculations on Instagram. Hop on my Discord and check out my new game, the United States Department of Gang Stalking. I would really appreciate it. There's also a bunch of new stuff there, and you can get the first I'm from the internet branded sticker that says Enemy of the Pod. That is on winslowdomain.com. And Jay, where can they find you?
My link tree is in the show notes. I've started writing little comedy articles and onion-style fake news articles. That's linked in my link tree as well. So if you want to check that out, it's I'm trying to do one a day, and it's pretty fun. It's I kind of missed seeing this type of humor online, so it's fun to do my own take on it. It's very mean. That's good. I'm glad, man. I'm glad you're getting at it, getting to it, doing things. But yeah, we will be back next week with even more meat squirts. Thank you for listening. Like and subscribe, leave us a review, blah, blah, blah. We love you. Goodbye. Keep squirting that meat. Keep squirting that meat.
I'm From the Internet is created by Jaybrandstetter and Winslow Domain. Edited by Steve Brown. Music by Steve Isbrook.